All right, hey guys, welcome back to my channel, your channel, I don't know.
Everybody's channel.
Yeah, this is my channel, but today we're a little out of it because the conversation we're having today is a sober one. It is about our experience dealing with the California power outages, and as you can see, I haven't showered, she hasn't showered.
I took a bath
Yesterday. I know, I took a shower yesterday at noon and it's like 1 p.m. now, so it's been more than 24 hours since the last time we showered. And one of the things I wanted to talk about was the fact that it just seems like this gets zero news coverage, and it is almost, it's not quite a statewide issue, but it is, I think it's 350,000 people are without power right now, and it's devastating. Like, your whole week is shot. You're unable to work.
You lose work. You lose your money. You lose hours at work.
Yeah, I mean, you have no time to do anything.
Your food is spoiled unless you have a generator.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I know how to keep that mentioned.
Your day is either spent running the generator to make sure that that's working, or it's spent sitting around not really doing anything and being cold.
You can't be healthy. You don't have hot water. One of the things is the weather, because either it's going to be like 90 degrees, 100 degrees, and they shut off the power. It's going to be really cold like this morning. And I think it's funny that this year has been all about preventing disease and wearing masks everywhere, and then we get our power shut off and are in the freezing cold, and
that's just going to increase the risk of disease and sickness. And we had this issue before. When it was really hot, they would shut our power off and we wouldn't have air conditioning, and it was a huge frustration because it would be so incredibly hot. We would get sick from it just being hot and not having air conditioning. So it's just like, we've just had so many issues, whether it's because of the weather. It's like being thrown into a third world country. Like, we're thrown back in time. We can't communicate with the outside world unless you're in an area where you have cell service. It's hard to find cell service where we're at. It's a huge frustration. You can't work online if, you know, and
that's a big thing. They told us all, you gotta, coronavirus, you gotta work it from home, you gotta do school at home, and then they shut off our power.
Yeah, they shut off your power.
You continuously order us to do things, and then you prevent the orders that you gave. Like, we don't have anything to do.
Yeah, it's this almost intentional, well, absolutely intentional way of shutting down the economy in every way possible. First, you can't work in your office, you have to work at home. You can't go to school in your regular school, you have to do that at home. And then, as Teresa said, they shut down the power, they shut down the internet. You can't function anymore.
It's like the Hunger Games, where you're in a dome and you've got a guy pressing buttons to make things worse happen and to watch you scatter and get hurt.
And just when you
try to survive.
Yeah, just when you overcome the latest hurdle and find a way to cope with that, they're like, oh, it's getting too easy, better press another button and send in, another mutt or something to make it difficult for them. So I guess the main reason why I wanted to make this video is just to kind of explain to people, here's what's actually going on. As I said, 350,000 people in California without power. That's 350,000 people who can't work, who are either having to use generators to keep their food cold and to be able to keep their internet running, or, in some cases, like in our case this morning, the internet companies or wherever the host of the internet was, they didn't have generators this morning that were working, apparently, and so we were without internet. Even though we had a generator working, the internet company didn't have a generator running, and so it's worse than the prank call. Is your refrigerator running? You're calling the internet company this morning.
Thought of this.
Is your refrigerator running? I don't know. It's yours.
What if you're a person who has an emergency, like an ambulance level emergency, and you can't call an ambulance and you can't text anyone because you don't have service or power? What happens then?
Yeah, I mean, this is I would love to see if this was something that was happening in a red state, if this level of incompetency was happening in a red state, the kind of media attention that it would get. But we get no media attention. Nobody's talking about, okay, the first time they did a power outage last year like this, there was a mention of a guy who actually died because he was on oxygen and he couldn't charge the machine that pumped his oxygen for him or something. But that story completely went away, and I haven't heard anything similar to that ever since. It's almost like any stories like that have been buried, because you would expect that there would be more, maybe not fatalities, but at least more stories about the hardships. Like, as I was saying, if this was happening in a red state, or if this was somehow able to be connected to Trump, there would be reporters on the street interviewing people individually, anecdotally, saying, this is how I'm suffering under this Republican administration, and it's terrible. But because it's Gavin Newsom, all of a sudden, all the negative media coverage goes away. It doesn't mean anything. And also, they're not turning the power off in LA. They're not turning it off in the major metropolis of San Francisco. It's only in the outskirts, like in the East Bay area and in North Bay, and out here in the rural area of California, and in the farm country and all of that. That's where they turn the power off. But it's just like, us little people, we don't mean anything. Our lives don't mean anything. The fact that we need jobs, the fact that we need to be able to work, the fact that we need to have the internet to communicate, the fact that we need self-service to communicate, none of that matters. We don't matter. So, Teresa, did you have anything else to add to that?
Just that I'm really tired because I usually sleep with a fan. These are little things that aren't as essential, but when I don't have my comfort fan, this is now a first world problem, I don't sleep very well. And so I was up for a good portion of the night, and so I'm rather tired.
Yeah,
that's a first world problem. I know it's not the same as the food and the cold and all that, but
well, I just have to say it's frustrating to me. Like, Gavin Newsom isn't having his power shut off. Gavin Newsom isn't having to deal with the inconveniences of, his food's going bad in the fridge, or, he needs to have a generator and he needs to be out at 5 a.m. to get the generator going so that, he can function throughout his daily life. He's not having any of these issues going on. He wouldn't have to lift a finger even if he did have the power go out. So it's just this huge disconnect between the elites. Gavin Newsom he represents the elites in this state. They don't have to worry about these issues. And then the little people, which the Democrats like to claim that they represent, and it's extremely frustrating because they don't represent us at all, and they wonder why we're voting for Trump. We both voted for Trump. I'm sorry, I just outed Teresa.
You outed me.
She didn't want anyone to know, but she voted for Trump as well. It's out. It's over.
It's out.
Anyway, so if you guys like this video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell to get notifications, and please don't vote for Democrats in California. I know this is a lost cause at this point because California is probably going to be blue for the rest of our lives and has been blue for our entire lives. Please don't vote for Democrats. Please don't vote for Gavin Newsom. Please sign the petition to recall Gavin Newsom. I will have the link in the description below, and I will talk to you guys on the next video.
Bye!